Hi, welcome to What Realtors Don't Tell You, particularly talking about soil reports. I have included in this video a link where you can go and read different descriptions as well as different codes based upon soil reports. But let me summarize some of the things to be aware of and some of the things that by simply knowing your soils, what you can be aware of even before you purchase the property. Soils, the soil reports will give you a variety of information, very technical to read and sometimes very hard to understand. But a soil report basically tells the owner and the people who are purchasing it for construction what type of soils exist. These are done by digging 10-foot potholes in some instances, and determination of what type of soils, if you are in a granular type of a rock bed or if you're in clay, or just a variety of readings of what type of soils are done. Larger projects often require a drill rig to be set, and they go down several feet to determine the characteristics or the properties of the soils. In the area in which we have worked a lot, we have commonly found that the ground that we build upon has had collapsible soils. Basically what happens is the soil has little potholes in it, and when water hits the soil it actually collapses and it drops. And so if you have a large amount of collapsible soils and then you go and place your structure on it, the goal is that your structure won't move, that you have taken into account and have prevented a lot of the things which could occur if you didn't know about it. Soil reports tells you those things. My suggestion would be is in most subdivisions, most developments, the developer has had to had a soil report completed. I would get my hands on that. Most of the time that is going to be granted to you through the city or the county. If you're building there or you're purchasing ground there, they have copies of those. As well as I would just simply ask the real estate agent if you could get a copy of that prior to purchasing that piece of ground, and then of course you could take that to a local engineer or a local surveyor or someone who has those expertise, and they could interpret for you a little bit of what the findings are. Or as you read that, you would be able to see what they have found, and basically they will tell you what they find, they will tell you how to prevent, as well as kind of a method in moving forward with controlling it. Oftentimes footings are expanded a little further out rather than common an 18-inch footing. Possibly that's going to be stretched out a little wider so it can span or bridge some of those materials. And those are the things that by knowing beforehand you can save yourself, again, in this case particularly, it could be several thousands of dollars. If you were to expand your footings, and the need to expand your footings on a standard home, standard 1,500, 1,600 square foot home, you would approximately pay easy, by the time you over excavate, you'd be somewhere around $5,000 or $6,000 possibly. Concrete, you would have an additional expense in concrete, the setting of the forms, of course pouring the concrete in, and just a variety of expenses that a unknowing, not knowing the characteristics of the property could cause you. And so beware of that. Soil reports are often not even requested, and that's one thing probably out of all of the suggestions that are a part of this, more important possibly than of course the north facing lot, but very important with the ranking of a topography, a boundary survey, knowing the easements that come through. Knowing your soil properties is very, very crucial if you desire to watch your dollar and to watch your pennies very closely. This could be one of those things that could get out of hand very quickly, that as you start moving forward in your general contractor, or if you are building the home yourself, would come and say, hey, we've got some issues, and these are the things that are going to be required for us to move forward with. So those are some hints. I again refer to that link that I provided you. Gives you a little more information, but this area is very technical, and I would just recommend that you know about it, be aware of it, ask the question of, is there a soil report? And if they come back and say yes, may I have a copy of the soil report so I can review that prior to purchasing the home. If you purchase the home, then of course you're buying the property as is, and you will have to adhere to the properties of the soil to make sure that your investment, the bank's investment, your dream home is taken care of. Ask that very simple question. A lot of people miss it. I would suggest that you don't. Ask it, get the information, review it. If you have the need for someone to interpret it or provide you some information more about it, then of course you can go to a local engineer or local surveyor, and for some time that they would charge you, they would be able to do that for you and give you an understanding of what's happening. In a couple states in the U.S., we are registered, and certainly would be able to offer that counsel in those states particularly. But that's something that you would need to visit with us, and we could analyze that only in those states where we are certified and are professionals. Again, ask the question. Ask about the properties of the soils. Make sure that the properties are known, and so you can make the best informed decision. Again, welcome to What Realtors Don't Tell You. We feel these items are very critical in saving money in the time in which we live, the economy, saving our pennies, watching things very closely, making sure that you're making the best informed decision that you can. Refer to us in other questions if you have them, and as they arrive, you can get that information off our website. Thank you, and keep enjoying What Realtors Don't Tell You.